Hey everyone, welcome back again to my channel for part 2 session of the second chapter from class 8 science course. This chapter deals with this part deals with harmful microorganisms. See, in the previous part we learnt about the advantages or beneficial way of microorganisms to mankind. That's the friendly nature of microorganisms. Here we are discussing about harmful microorganisms that are harmful for mankind. Let's continue our reading. Let's go on reading. Microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms cause disease in human beings, plants, and animals, such as disease causing microorganisms. Such disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. See, the microorganisms which cause disease are called pathogens. Please take a point here. Some microorganisms spoil food, clothing, and leather. Let us study more about their harmful activities. They just gave an introduction. Let's start from here. Disease causing microorganisms in humans. Pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe. As I told, we cannot recognize the microorganisms in air. They actually move in and out of our body along with the air we breathe and we exhale. The water we drink or the food we eat. See, that's why if we bring any food or vegetables from outside, like a open market, city markets like that, we should treat them properly before using them for cooking. We should treat them with salt. We should use salt for washing them, because there are several bacteria which might be surviving on the surface of that vegetables or fruits. That should be taken care. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person or carried by an animal. See, this point is so true. See, they get transmitted by a direct contact with infected person. It's a common, let me explain you the common observation. See, if you sit along with a person who is infected with cold, you will get cold. See, the same criteria applies here. What happens is, if you get in direct contact with the infected person, you also be infected through breathing his air or the breathing the droplets from his nose. See, all these conditions are unexpected. If we come in contact with that, we will be in contact and we breathe the same air. That might cause the bacteria to transmit between us. This is the reason to be infected with being in the contact with infected person. Or it also be infected via animals. See, if there some animals will not maintain their cleanliness. See, the pet which is taken care by ourselves in our house is good, but still we should maintain their cleanliness. If we do not maintain their cleanliness, they go out for their entertainment and they come back home. Since we should maintain cleanliness or wash the animals regularly, as we do, or else the bacteria gets transmitted from the hairs of the dogs or cats, etc. Microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or physical contact are called communicable diseases. See, all the microbial diseases are not communicable diseases. There are such some examples which are communicable. If we come in contact with other person, that gets infected for us also. Please take a note here. Communicable diseases. Examples of such diseases include cholera, common cold. As I mentioned, common cold is from virus. Such diseases is cholera, common cold, chickenpox, and tuberculosis. See, tuberculosis is also a communicable disease. Remember, When a person suffering from common cold sneezes, here what I told is given. A person suffering from common cold sneezes. Fine droplets of his moisture carrying thousands of viruses are spread in air. See, any one of your friend in your class sneeze when he is sitting along with you. The droplets from his nose or mouth will enter into the air, and being with him, you inhale the same air because you will be sitting along with him. The air will be almost similar for your side. What he sneeze will enter into your lungs through what you inhale. That causes the cold in your body. Continue reading. The virus may enter the body of a healthy person while breathing and cause infection. That's what happens if you come in contact with the infected person. There's a question for this boy. Then how do you prevent the spread of communicable diseases? How can we? See, nowadays coronavirus what we are watching is also a communicable disease. If you come in contact with a person who has that diseases, automatically you will get that. That's also an example for communicable disease. We should keep an handkerchief on the nose and mouth while sneezing. That should be taken by the person who get who is already got infected. See, it's better to keep a distance from an infected person. Even you should take a care. You should maintain a distance from him. If he is infected, you should maintain a distance. That's your precaution, and he should maintain a kerchief for himself. That's his precaution. There is important for role for both of them. Let's continue. There are some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease causing microbes. Carriers, they carry. See, they carry disease from one person to another person. That's all they do. Carriers. Delivery boys. Housefly is one such carrier. Housefly, the common housefly which you observe. The flies sit on the garbage and animal excreta. See, that's common. The flies, it's common attitude for flies to sit on a garbage or a animal excreta. Pathogens stick to their bodies, especially the surface where they touch. If legs, they keeps their legs. If they place their legs in above this garbage or animal excreta, they stick to their bodies. When these flies sit on uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. The same fly come to your home or sit on a vegetable. What happens? The same thing is excreted. The same thing is transmitted from the particular garbage to your vegetable. That's how they carry. That's why they are named as carrier. Whoever eats the contaminated food is likely to get sick. That's how the person gets infection. So it is advisable to always keep food covered. Food should be covered, it should be clean before cooking. Avoid consuming uncovered items of food. See, commonly roadside there will be uncovered food. Actually, they keep their stalls in front of a road. There are many people going all the way in the road. There are many vehicles passing all the way in the road, but still we will be in such a way that we will go and enjoy the taste. But actually, if we become sick, they are the main important reasons why we are sick, because they are not covered and carriers will infect the food they are serving us. That's how we get infected. Care should be taken. Another example of carrier is female anopheles mosquito. Anopheles, female anopheles, actually not male, female. Figure 2.8. Yeah, even here, female anopheles, which carries parasite of malaria. See, that's plasmodium. Anopheles carries parasite of malaria causing parasite. They carry, Anopheles is a carrier. They carry malaria from the infected person to a healthy person. Female Aedes mosquito acts as a carrier for dengue virus. Remember, dengue and malaria are common actually in everywhere, especially in India. How can we control the spread of malaria or dengue? See, let me show you something. See, this is mosquito, right? Mosquito go and bites infected person. Infected, let me show you in red, danger, infected person. And the same mosquito, after flying going to several houses, come to your house and bites healthy person. Who is healthy one, this is infected one. What happens? They act as carrier. That's how they act as carrier. Sorry, I can't write here. They act as carrier. See, if we want to control the spread of malaria or dengue, then we want to control mosquito. That's how they are interconnected. She has some question. Why does the teacher keep telling us not to let water collect anywhere in our neighborhood? Answer is given here. All mosquitoes breed in water. They reproduce in water. Okay, they are not going to reproduce anywhere else in a rough surface. They need a smooth surface. They breed in water. Hence, one should not let water collect anywhere in coolers, tires, water pot, etc. See, in especially in nearby schools, if there is a no place, no any such compounds or buildings nearby, in neighbor to your house also, if there is no house built neighbor to your house, then the open field collects water when it's rained. See, if this is a field open, water will collect here, and this is your house. Mosquito will come breed here. This is your house. Mosquito will nicely come to you, infect you. They go back. That's how they cause infection. By keeping the surrounding clean and dry, we can prevent mosquitoes from breeding. We should not let water to collect in our surroundings, in our coolers. We should change them periodically. Try to make a list of measures which help to avoid the spread of malaria. See, in order to try to stop the spread of malaria, you should try to stop the spread of mosquito. Let's continue. See, there are several diseases given here. Some common human diseases caused by microorganisms. Tuberculosis, human disease, tuberculosis. Caused by which type of microorganisms? Bacteria. How they are transmitted? Air. This is the preventive measures. General for all four of this. For all four of this is the prevention method. See, tuberculosis is caused by bacteria. Measles virus, that's also transmitted through air. And chicken pox, that's also caused by microorganisms. See, chicken pox is transmitted by air and also via direct contact with the infected person. Polio drops which we take are vaccines. It's already mentioned in the above pages. Causative microorganisms is virus. Mode of transmission is air or water. Preventive measures in general, for all four of these there is a preventive measures in general. Keep the patient in complete isolation. See, let's add coronavirus to this list. Corona, causative microorganisms, virus, mode of transmission, air or direct contact. Preventive measures. Keep the patient in complete isolation. Keep the personal belongings. See, quarantine period is what called isolation. Keep the personal belongings to the patient away from those of the others. See, what he uses in regular should be kept. That's also be isolated. That's also be isolated. Vaccination to be given at suitable age. See, for polio, we should never miss the vaccination during our childhood when they are prescribed. We will get polio and some injection at regular times. That should be taken. We should never miss them. That is given by free by our government. That should not miss. We should not miss that. That will be the preventive measures for the disease caused by microorganisms. See, there are other things, cholera and typhoid caused by bacteria. Both are also bacteria. Mode of transmission, water. As food, for food, cholera, but typhoid is only through water. Maintain personal hygiene. You should be so clean. You should take bath every day. Take bath every day and should maintain neatness by cutting your nails or hairs. That's your personal hygiene habits, activities, and good sanitary habits. So you should clean your hands if after playing outside. That's all good habits you should have. Consume properly cooked food and boiled drinking water, and also vaccination. See, you should take boiled drinking water most of the time and consume properly drink properly sorry properly cooked food. See, half cooked food is not good for our health. You should consume completely cooked. While cooking, the bacteria will die if present. If not, if we in hurry burry, if we do half and half cooking, then that will cause bacterial disease for us. Hepatitis A, that's a virus caused by or transmitted by water. And the preventive measures are drink boiled drinking water and also vaccination. Hepatitis B is a dangerous disease, should be taken care. See, everything should be taken care by yourself. That's your responsibility. Malaria caused by protozoa plasmodium. The mode of transmission, mosquito. There is no, if you go direct in direct contact with a malaria patient, it will not cause unless you are sharing his blood or internal part of his body. Unless you are sharing with him, if you touch him or nothing will transmit for you. Only via mosquito you will get infected for malaria. See, preventive measures, use mosquito nets or repellents. There are several things such as good night or something, you should use them. Spray insecticides and control breeding of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. Spray insecticides. There are several insecticides such as, see, that spray we get in good night all out, like that. And control breeding of mosquitoes should be controlled by checking the water collection. We should not let the water to collect anywhere for a long period. That should be checked periodically. Some of the common diseases affecting humans, their mode of transmission, and few general methods of prevention are shown in the table. That what we read till now. Disease causing microorganisms. Several microorganisms not only cause disease in human and plants, but also not only human and plants, but also in other animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease caused by bacteria. Take note. Anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease caused by bacterium, not only for human, that also for cattle, sheep, goats, cow, buffalo, etc. Foot and mouth disease of cattle is caused by a virus. See, there are some disease for cattle that named as foot and mouth. It's also caused by a virus. Microbial disease causing microorganisms in plants, not only humans, not only cattle, but also plants. Several microorganisms cause disease in plants like wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple, and etc. Others. The disease reduce the yield of crops. See table 2.2 for some such plant disease. They can be controlled by the plants. Some common plant disease caused by microorganisms. Let me finish the sentence. They can be controlled by the use of certain chemicals which kill the microbes. Chemicals are added. See, we use chemicals in such a way in our important in such a way for our day-to-day role or day-to-day life. Chemicals are a necessary factor for our survival. The sanitizers we use, the mosquito repellents are chemical. Everything almost is made of chemicals playing an important role in mankind. Let's come back to this after reading this one. Robert Koch, 1876, discovered the bacterium called Bacillus anthracis, which causes anthrax disease. He discovered the the causing agent of anthrax disease, that's Bacillus anthracis. That bacteria causes anthrax disease in humans and cattle. That was discovered in 1876. See, almost 150 years long back. Some common plant disease caused by microorganisms. Plant disease, microorganisms, and mode of transmission. Given citrus canker caused by bacteria. That mode of transmission is air. See how what are the losses beared by farmer. Air is present everywhere. How can he take care of this? All this should be beared by himself. Citrus canker, microbial bacteria caused disease that with the mode of transmission as air. If infected gets transmitted in air, then the plant will get infected. Rust of wheat for wheat plant is caused by fungi. Mode of transmission is also air and seeds. See, these are all the mode of transmissions, air and seeds. That's why in the first chapter the selection of seeds is so important. We should select seeds which is free from all the disease. That's our first priority. That's mentioned here. Yellow vein mosaic of bindi okra disease caused by virus. Mode of transmission, insects. See, if insects gets into the field, then all the crops will be damaged. Actually, we should take care of the insects also. That's farmer thing, how farmers should do hard work in production of plants. Food poisoning. See, before going to food poisoning, let me show you how these are infected. Yeah, this is citrus canker. Can you see the spots here? See, citrus canker in a fruit. Fruits will get really damaged. And the next one is, see, this is rust disease in wheat. Can you see how it really looks similar to the rust of iron? That's why they are called rust disease. See, this is okra disease in leaves. Can you see this? See this one, this one, this one, this one. These are all okra disease. Let's get back to the lesson. The next topic is food poisoning. Bojo was invited by his friend to party and he ate a variety of foodstuff. On reaching home, he started vomiting and had taken to a hospital. The doctor said that this condition could be due to food poisoning. What is food poisoning? Let's see. Paheli wonders how a food can become a poison. We eat food for our survival. How can that be a poison? Is Paheli's question. Let's see how Boja was admitted. Food poisoning could be due to the consumption of food spoiled by some microorganisms. See, the microorganisms will develop themselves in the surface of the fruits or vegetable, and within the fruits or vegetable they will grow and they will cause the food to get damaged. And without checking, if we take the infected fruits or vegetable, if we consume them, we will also be infected, so that leads to a food poisoning. Food poisoning could be due to the consumption of food spoiled by some microorganisms. Microorganisms that grow on our food sometimes produce toxic substances. See, some bacteria produces the toxic is poisonous. Toxic substances means poisonous substances. So if anything that grows on carrot or something, they leave the poisonous substance there itself. Without cleaning the food or without taking the care, if we cut the carrot and if we start using in our cooking, then that leads to food poisoning for the people who consume them. That make the food poisonous, causing serious illness and even death. See, that should be, even death can be caused. So it is very important that we preserve food to prevent it from being spoiled. Food preservation. How can we preserve a food from getting spoiled? Preservation is avoiding the food from getting spoiled. We should cover the food and avoiding the exposure of the food. In chapter 1, we have learnt about the methods used to preserve and store food grains. Food storage, we have learnt about them. How do we preserve cooked food at home? You know that bread left unused under moist condition is attacked by fungus. That's shown in the previous diagram also. Microorganisms spoil our food. Spoiled food emits bad smell and has a bad taste. See, spoiled food actually emits bad smell because of the toxic substances of the bacteria causing the food damage. That will cause a bad smell, and also taste is not good. That's harmful. And changing color. Is spoiling of food a chemical reaction? That's the question. Is that a chemical reaction? Who knows? Paheli bought some mangoes, but she could not eat them for a few days. She was busy. Later, she found that they were spoiled and rotten. But she knows that the mango pickle her grandmother makes does not spoil for a long time. She is confused. She is confused. I bought a mango. kept for a few days. Mango got damaged. My grandma prepares a pickle. She prepares a pickle. Pickle will not get spoiled for several days. That will be a healthy. How is this possible? That's her question. Because both are mango. Let us study the common methods of preserving food in our homes. We have to save it from the attack of microorganisms. See, covering the food is not only the way. There are several ways to prevent the food from getting spoiled. Let's see. Chemical method. The first method. Salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms. Salts and edible oils. Salt, white salt you use in your home. Edible oils are the oils which are consumable, that are called edible oils, that are common chemicals generally used for checking the growth of the microorganisms. Therefore, they are called preservatives. Please check a preservative definition here. They are called preservatives. We add salt or acid preservative to pickles to prevent the attack of microbes. See, in the presence of salt, microbes will not attack because the salt is not a good environment for them to grow. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are common preservatives. Take a note. In your bakeries, they will use these substances. See, if they do 100 cakes a day and only 80 cakes are sold, what they will do for the rest 20? Will they leave that food and will prepare the new one for the tomorrow, for the next day? No, that will cause loss for them. So they use these chemical preservatives to prevent them. And after preventing from microorganisms or getting spoiled, they will sell the remaining to the new customers or the customers who will buy the next day. Common preservatives, that are the common preservatives. These are also used in jams and squashes to check their spoilage. See, jam what we eat with bread are also containing these preservatives. Preservation by common salt. Sodium benzoate, sodium metabisulfate should be remembered. Preservation by common salt. Common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish for ages. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, and tamarind. See, let me show you. See, here is a fish. Can you see? See, fish are available only in the coastal regions where the sea is near to the land. And the people where there is the coastal near is not available near to them, they also eat the fish. How that's possible? See, today if anyone catches the fish, any fish coastal fish person will catch a fish, then he wants to sell this fish to the person who is not nearby, to a long distance. What he will do, he will he will place a fish in some container. See, this, accept this as a fish for a while, and he will put salt along with this, dry salt. See, placing a dry salt along with a fish will not cause the fish to get spoiled. That's how they preserve. Amla, raw mangoes, tamarind also preserved by the same method. Preservation by sugar. Sugar also preserves. Jams, jellies, squashes are preserved by sugar. Jams, what we regularly use, are also preserved by sugars. Sugar reduces the moisture content which inhibits the growth of bacteria which spoil food. See, the moisture content leads to the leads exposure to the bacteria. If moisture is good, there is a sufficient moisture in your content, then bacteria will grow easily. Bacteria loves moisture, so sugar reduces the moisture contents in jellies and jams. Preservation by oil and vinegar. Use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such an environment. You know how viscous is oil, vinegar. You cannot, bacteria cannot grow in oil, so they won't come if the oil is there at its surfaces. Vegetables, fruits, fish, and meat are also often preserved by this method. Heat and cold treatments. See, micro ovens that provides heat, bacteria will die. That's how heat and cold treatment will help. You must have observed your mother boiling milk before it is stored or used. Boiling milk. Boiling kills many organisms. Take down this lesson. Take down this note. Boiling kills many organisms. Similarly, we keep our food in refrigerator. Why? Low temperature inhibits the growth of microorganisms. Boiling also high temperature kills. Low temperature won't allow to grow. That is heat and cold treatment. Take this. Why does the milk that comes in packets are not spoiled? My mother told me that milk is pasteurized. What is pasteurization? Question. Pasteurized milk can be consumed without boiling as it is free from harmful microbes. The milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. See, that's heat and cold treatment. As soon as they collect the milk from the dairy, they will heat the milk to 70 degrees Celsius, not 100 degrees Celsius. Somewhat 70 degrees Celsius. Then they will let suddenly they will chill the again bring back the temperature to normal state by chilling and stored. See, that is what heat and cold treatment. While heating the microorganisms will die. Again, again sudden cooling will not allow the microorganisms to grow. That's how microorganisms are killed. By doing so, it prevents the growth of microbes. This process was discovered by Louis Pasteur called pasteurization. This is called pasteurization. Please make a note of pasteurization. Storage and packing. These days, dry fruits and even vegetables are sold in sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of microbes. See, the packet which you take, like Lion Dried Foods or something, they will be airtightly packed. They cannot, the microbes cannot enter in. That's how they are prevented. Last topic, nitrogen fixation. You have learnt about the bacterium Rhizobium. I have told several times Rhizobium should be an important bacteria in nitrogen fixing in class 6 and 7. It is involved in fixation of nitrogen in leguminous plants, pulses. Leguminous plants. You know what are leguminous plants? The plants which support, which are host to the nitrogen fixing bacteria. Recall that Rhizobium lives in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Leguminous plants host the Rhizobium bacteria, such as beans and peas. Beans and peas are two plants which are the host to the Rhizobium bacteria, with which it has symbiotic relationship. Rhizobium gives nitrogen to the plant and plant gives shelter to the rhizobium. That's what symbiotic relationship. Give, take, give. That's what symbiotic relationship. Sometimes nitrogen gets fixed through the action of lightning. Lightning during the clash of clouds, raining, there will be a lightning that causes nitrogen fixation. But you know that the amount of nitrogen in atmosphere remains constant. There will be no change. Nitrogen is not produced, they are only fixed. Remains constant in the sense there is no change in the content, the amount of the nitrogen. You may wonder how. Let us understand this in next session. See, can you see this? These are nodules. These are nodules. See, these are nodules. Rhizobium bacteria grow here. They provide nitrogen to the plant. Plant provides shelter to the nitrogen. Rhizobium bacteria. See, nitrogen cycle is the next topic, which helps us in understanding how nitrogens are transmitted from one substance to another substance, how they are fixed. Let's start. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. 78% major gas in our atmosphere. Nitrogen is one of the essential constituents of all the living organisms as a part of proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acids, and vitamins. Take this highlighted part. In our body, the proteins, in plants, chlorophyll, and nucleic acids in both and vitamins in both contain nitrogen. How nitrogen is fixed all over the required things. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by the plants and animals. See, nitrogen is present in air. You cannot take the air and fix to your proteins and fix to your vitamins. That's not possible. But how they are going to fix? That's the question. Certain bacteria and blue-green algae present in the soil fix nitrogen from the atmosphere. Blue-green algae, blue-green algae, underline. Certain bacteria, not all bacteria, please remember, certain bacteria, blue-green algae present the soil fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere. They convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the compound form that is fixed to the soil and convert it into compounds of nitrogen. That is, they convert air to compounds, gaseous states to solid state. Once nitrogen is converted into these usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil through their root system. Once they convert into compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil through their root system. Soil nourishes the plant's root. So this blue-green algae convert nitrogen into compound for the soil. Soil gives that nitrogen to the plant. That's how this perform. Nitrogen is then used for the synthesis of plant proteins and other compounds. Nitrogen plant proteins, the vegetables which we eat, for example carrot is rich in vitamin A. Then the proteins are also rich in carrot. The proteins and vitamins in the carrot contains nitrogen. That's how soil gets nitrogen from blue-green algae gets nitrogen from air, and soil provides that nitrogen to the carrot, and carrot provides nitrogen to us. That's how fixation happens. Animals feeding on plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds. See, animals, we are feeding on a plant, we get that compounds. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil convert the nitrogenous waste into nitrogenous compounds to be used by the plants again. See, decomposition takes place. What happens? They convert the nitrogenous waste, the nitrogen present in our body. If any animals die, the nitrogen present in their body is converted into nitrogen compound again. That nitrogen compound gets to soil to plant again. Same cycle repeats. Certain other bacteria convert some part of them to nitrogen gas. See, there are several bacteria to take gas form into solid form, some bacteria to solid form to gas form, nitrifying, denitrifying. Goes back to the atmosphere. As the result, percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains more or less constant. There is a cycle. Let me explain you clearly. Yeah. This makes the end of the chapter. Well, let me explain you. See, let me start with atmospheric nitrogen. 78%. If lightning occurs, while raining, lightning occurs. If lightning occurs, atmospheric nitrogen after lightning will become compound in the soil. See, nitrogen in the air to compound in the soil, gaseous states to solid stage. One way. The second route is through atmospheric air to nitrogen fixing bacteria fix atmospheric nitrogen. Which one? Blue-green algae. Fix the gaseous form of nitrogen into compound form to the soil. Bacteria in turn fix nitrogen into nitrogenous compound. Later, compound of nitrogen in the soil. That's what bacteria do. They fix nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, and then nitrogen to nitrogenous compound to soil, and soil to some bacteria directly converts the nitrogenous compound in the soil to air. That's the other way, back to air. And there is also the another way. Plants take that nitrogenous compounds through roots. We eat plants. Then we excrete, and some animals die. We may die. Through that, the nitrogenous compounds will get back to the soil. This is the first person. Can you make sense now? 78% will not increase or decrease, remain same. 78%, what happens to 78%? They cycle, repeats. 78% remains same. This completes our first lesson. Second chapter, second part. See, exercises are covered in the next video. Exercises are easy. If you take a note of this the concepts, then exercises are here easy. Yeah, successfully completed second chapter. Thanks for watching. See you later.